2, 1, 2. Through and through the Vorpel blade went Snickersnack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. So wrote Lewis Carroll in his 1871 sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland called Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, and now you too can take your Vorpel sword in hand and go mank some foe seeking in vanilla Minecraft with the Vorpel Sword's Gamemode 4 plugin. So this is the Vorpel Sword plugin. It's based off of the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll, which is a pretty good poem. There's a link to read it in the description because I think it's pretty cool. And the idea was suggested by Squid Does Minecraft in a previous video. And basically what this does is that if you get a sword of any kind and you give it looting 3 and call it Vorpel Sword, that's the condition, then it will decapitate mobs and you can get the heads off of mobs. You can see the 4 different mob head types in my inventory bar right now. I've made this a sort of end game item, so you need to work for it. But for survival worlds and stuff, if you want these as decorative items, you need to work to getting a looting 3 sword. It can be any type. You could make a stone looting 3 sword and it would work as long as it has looting 3. You can basically just kill your zombie and you get a skull. You can do the same thing with skeletons. And you can do the same thing with creepers. Players works as well. I'm not able to show that because I don't have a player currently to do it on, but I have tested it earlier and it does work. So yeah, that's basically that. So a pretty beefy looking plugin, but fairly simple in what it does. There's just a lot of repetitiveness, which is why it looks so big. So first of all, this is just a hyperclock over here, which just constantly is creating very fast checker. And this over here is just testing for a scoreboard value kills of 1 or more. So there's a scoreboard value testing to see whether you've killed anything, and if that is 1 or higher, then this turns this little clock on here, and the first thing it does is it powers all of these 4 here and these 5 here, and that's checking each of your 9 inventory slots. So if we look at this one here, this is checking all players with a score kills minimum of 1 for slot 3 in this case. It's checking their inventory to check if in slot 3 they have an enchanted item with looting 3 on it with the name Vorpel Sword. So if you have that position selected and it has the Vorpel Sword in it, then this comparator turns on. There's basically each of these is just checking each of the 9 slots in your inventory to make sure that you are holding the sword and have it on you. And if that succeeds, then this line of redstone here turns on. These command blocks here are just setting the success count of their relative command block back to 0 so that this comparator turns off. But it sends a short pulse through this redstone to this repeater here, and that then works out what you've killed. There's a scoreboard for each mob type. There's a scoreboard testing for player kills, zombie kills, skeleton kills, and creeper kills. So this one up here is saying for everybody with a score of skeleton kills of 1 or more, summon an item, which is basically a skull. All these commands will as always be in the description. And then the same thing here. This one is for zombies. This one is for players, and this one is for creepers. And that's basically it. And a couple of ticks later, thanks to this repeater here, everything is set back to 0. So your kills is set to 0, player to 0, skeleton to 0, zombie to 0, and creeper to 0. And then that sets the success count of something to 0. I don't think I actually need this anymore. I think that's redundant. So yeah, that's basically it. Well, thank you very much as always for watching. I hope you liked the plugin. May I start by saying that Torbre00 is currently doing a Let's Play, a speed run with some of these plugins installed. He's using the Bat Grenades plugin, the Enderman Support Class plugin, and the Weighted Armor plugin. And he's doing a speed run with natural regeneration turned off as a short series on his channel. So if you want to check that out, it's in the description. If you want to see how these plugins come together, I think that's pretty cool. Endy Man says that I should do potion bows as well. Maybe. That's everything for this episode, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry that there hasn't been any episodes out recently. I had loads of ideas and all of them didn't quite work, so I've been kind of stuck. So finally glad to get something out. I'll see you all next time.